Mastering power through the 48 laws. Do not leave your reputation to chance or gossip. It is your life's artwork, and you must craft it, hone it, and display it with the care of an artist. Robert Greene. 1. The Book of Modern Strategy. The 48 Laws of Power functions as a contemporary manual of cunning. Drawing on the insights of Machiavelli and Gracian, Robert Greene dissects influence into individual laws, each supported by stories of Europe's elite. These examples highlight how power manifests in practice, giving the reader both theory and illustration. The book is so effective at teaching manipulation that it has become a bestseller worldwide. In US prisons, it is one of the most borrowed books, and in some institutions, it is outright banned. Had it been published centuries earlier, it would likely have been blacklisted by the Church alongside the Prince. 2. The missing pieces of Greene's work. To become truly strategic, one must recognize what the 48 Laws omits. While rich in detail, it is not a complete education in power. This chapter will highlight where Greene's work falls short and where the student must seek complementary sources. The laws focus on micro-level interactions, how to manage impressions, conceal intentions, and manipulate individuals. They do not provide large-scale models or structural strategies. To address this limitation, Greene released the 33 Strategies of War. When combined with the 48 Laws, the two texts balance each other. The first sharpens interpersonal cunning. The second reveals how to engage in broader, organizational conflicts. Paired with The Prince, these three works give a student of Machiavellianism both psychological insight and philosophical grounding. Greene's historical examples, however, are distant for many readers. His narratives of aristocrats and courts do not easily translate into the modern workplace or political arena. Strong abstract thinkers can adapt them, but the average reader may struggle to see how these principles play out today. Finally, the book offers no prioritization system. It does not explain how to resolve conflicts when two laws apply at once. The burden of interpretation rests entirely on the reader. Those who cannot adapt may miss much of what the book has to offer. Key points: the 48 Laws of Power, micro, and the 33 Strategies of War, macro, are complementary. Together, they form a fuller education in power. The 48 Laws sharpens interpersonal cunning, while the 33 Strategies equips one for business and large-scale conflict. Adding Machiavelli's The Prince completes the philosophical and psychological foundation for mastering power. Greene's examples often feel distant, drawn from elites in historical settings, making modern application harder for average readers. The books outline principles but lack step-by-step guidance or hierarchy of laws, leaving interpretation and application to the reader. Trecci. Power on a Spectrum. One of the greatest misunderstandings among readers is treating the laws as rigid rules. Ironically, the final law, assume formlessness, warns against such rigidity. Just as a strategist adapts to shifting battlefields, the laws must be applied with fluidity. For example, never outshine the master is usually wise, but in some cases, defying this advice is essential. Suppose a boss constantly steals credit and undermines you. Outshining them before their superior may secure your position while exposing your boss. In this case, breaking the law serves your interests. The laws are broad principles of power, adaptable to the circumstances at hand. When applying them, one must first ask whether the timing is right, Law 35, and whether the current strategy is effective, Law 48. If the timing is favorable but the strategy is failing, a law reversal should be employed. If neither timing nor strategy aligns, it is best to continue as you are, remaining attentive for the right moment to execute a reversal. Every law exists on a continuum. At one extreme is the full expression of the law. At the other, its reversal. In between are countless variations. Learning to slide along this spectrum is what transforms rote knowledge into mastery. Take Always say less than necessary. At maximum, it means extreme brevity. At reversal, it means overwhelming the listener with verbosity that distracts and conceals. At the midpoint, it may mean sharing just enough to appear open while withholding key details. The underlying principle remains constant, but the execution shifts based on timing and circumstance. Green hints at this flexibility by including reversals, but true mastery requires the reader to internalize the duality of each law. This demands creativity, practice, and intuition. Key points. The laws should be seen as adaptable strategies, not rigid rules. Law 48, assume formlessness, embodies this. Reversals are sometimes necessary. For example, outshine the master can work if your boss is already undermining you. Application depends on timing, Law 35, and whether your current approach is effective. Laws exist on a spectrum, 0 to 100. 100 equals default form of the law. 0 equals its reversal. 50 equals blended application, appearing open while still concealing key information. Each law can be rotated or nuanced depending on context. Mastery lies in finesse and adaptability. 4. Learning the laws. Effectively. To rush through. The 48 Laws is to miss its essence. It is a book that rewards slow study and deliberate practice. A structured learning process might look like this. Read deliberately. Study one law at a time and imagine how it applies to modern life. Take notes. Identify key principles and invent hypothetical scenarios. Reinforce with audio. Listen to narrations or audiobooks to deepen memory. Reflect on experience. Recognize past or present situations where the law applies. Practice defensively. Use the laws subtly within your main social groups. Experiment boldly. Test more aggressive applications in low-stakes environments. Disposable social group. Apply selectively. Use the laws strategically where the risk and reward justify it. The goal is not rote memorization, but integration. When the laws move from abstract text into lived behavior, their true value emerges. 5. Building a Machiavellian foundation. For the serious student of power, 3 books form the foundation. Machiavelli's The Prince, Green's The 48 Laws of Power, and The 33 Strategies of War. Read in sequence, they offer philosophy, interpersonal tactics, and large-scale strategy. The Prince strips away illusions of morality and examines political power in raw form. The 48 Laws provides interpersonal tools to command respect and detect manipulation. The 33 Strategies scales those lessons into organizations and institutions. Together, they reshape your worldview, teaching you to think critically, act strategically, and wield influence effectively. Additional works may add flavor, but these 3 form the essential core.